Hello, friends, and welcome to the Powerful Podcast. I'm your host, AJ McCord. In this podcast, we introduce you to powerful women who are changing the game in and outside of their field of play. These are women's stories, women who happen to be doing things that many of us can only dream of, but the lessons and inspiration they share is universal. Welcome back to this episode of the Powerful Podcast. I'm AJ McCord, your host for all things Olympic, extreme, and action sports and the badass women who competed in them. This week, we have Hannah Roberts. She is one of the best BMX freestyle athletes in the entire world. She's a two-time Olympian, six-time world champion in BMX freestyle, and yet she talks about how brutal it is to navigate all of the expectations, all of the excitement, all of those accomplishments at just 23 years old. She dives into just managing all of the expectations that come with being a part of the inaugural class of a sport for the Olympics. She talks about what it's like to be always the favorite and sometimes not deliver, and the really intense consequences that can come from that. She shares a lot about which voices she had to make sure she listened to, which ones she tuned out, and how we can all apply that to whatever our goals are in life. Cannot wait for you to hear this episode of the Powerful Podcast. Thanks for being here. Welcome back to the Powerful Podcast. I am so excited to be joined now by Hannah Roberts. She is a no big deal two-time Olympian in BMX freestyle. She has won 6 world titles in BMX freestyle, and she's competing here at the X Games in Salt Lake City. And I'm just so excited to get a chance to talk with you about your Olympic experience, BMX, women in sport, all the things. So Hannah, thanks for being on the Powerful Podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's awesome.
Yeah. So you are one of the best BMX freestyle riders in the entire world. A lot of people learn how to ride a bike when they're a kid. How did you go from I'm learning to ride a bike to I want to compete in riding a bicycle?
Honestly, like growing up, I did a bunch of team sports like soccer, football. I tried track. I'm not a runner, but I tried them all, and I didn't really like to rely on other people to do well. But I love sport. So actually X Games was on, 2009 X Games was on, and saw the way that the riders were treating each other, and I just fell in love with it. And asked my dad if I could do it, and he got me a bike, and haven't stopped since. So.
That's incredible. Yeah. So you went from watching the X Games on TV to competing in the X Games, but I know that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So what was the work that it took for you to do that?
Honestly, having fun. I didn't think that when I was growing up, there wasn't very many female riders. So I would just ride with the boys at the local skate park, and, they would learn something and then they would pressure me to learn it. And like, that's how I grew. And then, I never truly thought that this would be my career. I don't think it hit me until my last year of high school, and then had a really, really good start to the season. I graduated, and I was like, all right, I'll finish out the season. Let's see. Won everything at the end of the season, and then I was like, I was already qualified for the Olympics before COVID, so I was like, all right, well, this is what we're doing for a while, and I haven't stopped. So
there's a lot there. Let me gather my thoughts, because the most important thing is that you saw X Games in 2009, so you had this goal of X Games, but it wasn't an Olympic sport in 2009. 2021 was the very first time that BMX freestyle was in the Olympics. Obviously, it was supposed to be 2020, but with COVID, it got pushed back. So how did you work towards a goal that didn't even exist yet? Like, what did a season look like for you? What did developing tricks look like for you? How did you prepare for something that you were going to try and be the first in?
Yeah. So I didn't know anything when I first started.
Sure.
At all. I went to my first professional contest in Edmonton, Canada. I think I was like 12 or 13. I got second there. And then my dad would just drive me all over the country to any kind of amateur event or any event that he could find. And then 2016, I think I got a call that they wanted me to compete against the boys, and I was not good. Okay, I'll be honest. I was 14.
At X Games?
In simple session.
In simple session, okay.
So they paid for mine and my dad's flight to go to Estonia. They're like, you compete against the boys, there's no girls class. Got 60-something place. And then we went to France after for a girls contest and rode there. And that was like the first year that they allowed women to do a World Series with the boys. And since then, like I won that series, and then they paid for me to go the next year and won that year. And then they paid for me to go again. And then USA came in and took over after it was announced. So that was pretty cool. When I think I was 15. I was in like computer class or something when I got like my phone started blowing up. I got in trouble, but my dad was like blowing my phone up at 15 years old, just like, it's an Olympic sport. And yeah, so.
Oh my gosh. So the World Series is essentially the year in, year out qualifying league, if you will, for the Olympics. It's like how you qualify, but you compete in a World Series every single year, or it's just leading up to the Olympic years?
So the World Series, we have like World Cups,
Sure.
Obviously World Cups, World Championships. And then I think they added like Olympic qualifying series. Yeah. So the World Series is just all the World Cups. Like if I win every event, I can win the World Series. I did that 6 or 7 times in a row. I didn't win it last year. I didn't go to very many of them. But yeah, I did really well for a while, and they started paying for me, and I was like, yo, this is sick. And then my parents started sending me a lot more, and I was still in normal school. That was gnarly. So
I bet it's a ton to manage. You mentioned at 15, your phone's blowing up, which like, obviously it's very exciting whenever a sport gets added to the Olympics. But for your dad, it was like, no. Now we don't just have the X Games. Like we have an Olympic spot. I mean, how did that shift what was sort of a dream of like, hey, X Games and these World Series events, but like how much did the Olympic validation of the sport impact your ability to see yourself continuing it as a career?
Well, I mean, I was pretty naive. I was 15. I didn't really think that I was going to go. It's a long time. There's a lot of people in the world. I was like, somebody's beat me out. Like it's whatever. And, I don't think I really gave myself a shot. I took a fall in 2018. I needed surgery on my shoulder. And when I was rehabbing that's when I decided like, I'm going to give it my all this year. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And I think Paris beat me maybe one time. And then I won every other event in 2019, which was way too many events. I was gone for like 6 or 7 months of the year. And came back from France, graduated high school, moved to North Carolina for training. And it's just like, I'm going to give it everything. And then by the end of that year, I won the World Championships, and they qualified me for for Tokyo. And 2 months later, freaking COVID happens.
Oh my gosh.
Stuck. And then, I got to continue living the dream, just doing whatever. And now I get to do it on like a mainstream.
Yeah. So you're a 2-time Olympian. You'd walked away from Tokyo with a silver medal, but I can imagine that felt like a lot of pressure to be a part of the first women's class. Because was it just you in Paris in that first women's division of BMX Freestyle in Tokyo?
For USA.
For USA, yeah. So you're one of 2 American women to represent BMX Freestyle, its very first Olympic appearance. You're coming out of COVID, which was like nobody's mentals were where they should have been coming out of COVID. How did you approach your very first Olympics?
I don't know. I don't remember too much. I like shut down. I did things like pretty wrong, I think, leading into that, coming out of COVID or like during COVID, like got married pretty quick, bought a house pretty quick. And that was like within 6 months of leaving for the games. And then, so I was trying to figure out real adult life at 19 and train full time for the Olympics. And I made myself pretty miserable. It was just like, I spread myself so thin on everything. And it was not a great thing. So definitely wouldn't recommend it. But going into Paris, I mean, I was like pretty set on, and people understood what I was doing, and everything I did with purpose. And I dropped like a healthy weight the healthy way. And Tokyo, I dropped a crazy amount of weight just horribly fast. And so I had to learn. I had to like completely shift everything that I knew going into Paris. And I knew that the way that I was like talking, I go to therapy, and I was talking to my therapist. I was like, I can't do that again. Like that was, looking back, I was like, that was insane that I thought that was the right thing to do. So, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember like riding leading up to it. I won the World Championships in 2021. I don't remember that. Like, I see the posts. My dad, shares the posts and stuff. And I think that was my 3rd World Championship that I won. And I have no recollection. Wow. I don't know what I did. So yeah, that was a crazy time.
Yeah, to be spread so thin that you don't remember those big moments, those big milestones in your life has to be jarring to look back on. Yep. How did you, I mean, in the moment though, I mean, I'm somebody who spreads myself very thin, like all the time. I'm somebody who's like, nope, I can do everything, all the things, and I can do them very well. But learning to say no and learning to set boundaries is something that I don't feel like I do very well now. Yeah. But I feel like I definitely didn't do it at 19, because at 19, you're like, the world is my oyster. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do all the things. How harsh of a reality did that hit for you, that you have to set these boundaries and you have to learn to say no to things?
It was a little crazy. It took a lot of like practice, and I lost a lot of relationships from it. Just like having hard boundaries, and them being crossed, it wasn't a great thing. And yeah, I just had to really look at the mirror, and you almost have to, especially Olympic years. Those like the games usually happen in July, so those 7 months of that year, you have to be so selfish with your time and your energy. And it sucks. It really does. Because, I don't like, just going to the gym and then going to riding and then going home and having nothing to do, because you have to recover to do it the same thing the next day. And, it was a long learning process. And I don't think I really figured it out until like probably 2 weeks before the games, where I was just like, everybody's got to leave me alone. Like, pretty much shut down. All communication with everybody but my family. So I was still talking to my mom and my dad every day, but like coaches, I'm like, you'll see me at practice, like leave me alone. Like it got to the point where I was just like, dude, I have to do this for me, because over time it just wears you out pretty quickly.
Well, and at the end of the day, you're the one going out there and being an Olympian. At the end of the day, you're the one that like has to go out there and perform. And my gosh, perform you did. Like, you walked away with a silver medal, which from the outside looking in, you're like, good job. First time Olympian, you walk away with a silver medal. So many people go to the Olympics. Well, okay, so many people. Of those extreme elite athletes in the world, right? Like, there's only a few that become Olympians, and then there's even fewer that become a medalist, much less one of the top 2 women in the world. But tell me why you were so unhappy with the silver medal.
So, I think I qualified for the Olympics in February of 2020, and then the world shut down. And then every interview that I did before, and it was way too many, they were talking about the gold hopeful and all this. And, it was just a lot to manage. And I didn't really, like, in the moment, I didn't think that was messing with my head. And then once I got the silver, it was just like, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hold it. I didn't want to do anything. I put it in a cupboard at my house. And then for like weeks and weeks and months, I was getting DMs and texts and all that, just saying that I got robbed and that I deserved to win. And I don't know, I had really, really mixed feelings with it. I didn't know if they were right or if I deserved what I got. And at the end of the day, like, everybody deserves the score they got. That's what the judges thought. And it just made it really, really hard to enjoy that silver. So,
well, it's so crazy. I think of this quote that, like, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And if 15-year-old Hannah, or you were 7 when you started riding, or 7 or 8? Okay. So if 8-year-old Hannah had been told, hey, you're going to win a silver medal at the first ever Olympics for BMX Freestyle, what would her response have been?
I don't even think I would have like understood. I just, what? And then, but it would have been mind blowing, at that age.
Yeah.
Go 11 years later and I'm just like, couldn't even hold it out. It was crazy.
Yeah. That's a wild, so I think of the quote that comparison is the thief of joy, because it's like the only reason, or one of the big reasons that it was hard to be joyful about such a massive accomplishment is because you're comparing it to what you thought you should have gotten, or comparing it to what everybody told you should have gotten. How did that affect the way that you prepared for Paris?
I mean, honestly, if you look at my Instagram or my social media right now, it's dry. I stopped posting. I was just getting, people hate on the internet, which doesn't bug me. It bugs my sisters a lot, and it was affecting like the way that my family would act on social media. They weren't like inappropriate. They weren't rude, but they just like stopped wanting to share certain things. And for me, that's never okay. I think everybody should have that space. I know social media is public, but everybody should have that space to share. And you know, for me, if I don't like something, I'm scroll. Like, I don't care. I'm not. There's no reason to comment. But yeah, I was getting pretty gnarly like death threats too. It was crazy. Yeah, I got
After
a
Tokyo.
Little, after right before Paris, and then while I was in Paris, and then after Paris.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a little insane.
It's a lot insane.
Obviously, I didn't live with my parents, so that was a little bit more relaxing. You know, I had my own house in North Carolina, so it's like if they search my address, it's going to be that one, you know, rather than my parents' house. But yeah, I didn't let anybody know about that. I was just like, dude, this is not cool, and I just quit posting. And you know, I was getting hate on posts and just people trying to get a rise, and it didn't really work. I was just like, I don't need that, you know.
Yeah. Was it over your performance? Was it over the like what was the
So some of it's over the way that I perform. You know, if I didn't win every event in 2023. I don't know if people know this. It's very, very hard to win every single event.
She says as a 6-time world champion.
Yeah, it is super hard to just win everything all the time. So I didn't win every event in 2023. I was getting a lot of crap for that. I was getting a lot of crap for the way I look. Very muscular. And you know, for me, I'm like, I don't care. There's not one part of me that cares. But it was just everything, a little bit of everything. I know, like the death comments and the death threats, they were over me being gay, which is crazy. And I know who it was. And I'm very, very sneaky. I found their address. I didn't do anything with it, but like I was just like, everything's you know, public information. So yeah, that was pretty crazy, and that was the one thing that I was just like, shit, I'm done. I just still don't really post too much. I mean, I don't care about the hate. It's just like the threats and stuff. And I got nephews. I got a 2-year-old nephew. I have a niece that's gonna be born hopefully in August. So, you know, when it comes to that stuff, I want my family to be safe. Yeah.
So you mentioned that some of it was over you being gay. You've been out for quite some time, and you're a very proud, active member of the LGBTQIA+ community. What do you want people to know about what it's like to deal with some of that stuff?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever not been out.
Right.
It's pretty obvious.
Right.
From when I was like 8, I was like I had a bowl cut. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I never knew that, like, I've never experienced that before Paris. I never experienced like the threats and you know, for BMX and for most people, they don't care. Yeah. You know, I'm happy. Being gay is such a small part of my life, and obviously I was married to a woman and we're not together anymore, but like nobody cared too much. It was just when it happened, I was like, such a stupid thing to be mad about. Like, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I don't ever really talk about being gay. I don't think it's like for me, it's, you kind of look at me and you can tell. I mean, they just gave me a freaking lesbian haircut. And you know, Nikita picked it out. She's like, yo, chill, look at this. And so, but yeah, it was just interesting. I didn't know even what to do. Yeah. I didn't tell anybody. Not because it affected me. I wasn't like scared. You know, I do keep a gun in my house, so I knew I was fine. I knew I was protected, but like it was something where I was just like, take a step back, and I was like, this is what the world's coming to. This sucks. Yeah. So, yeah. Well,
and it feels like, gosh, again, we talk about the lessons that you had to learn so young, right? And so publicly, right? Like, I think even for me, right, social media is something where everyone decides how much they want to share. And it really only takes getting burned one time to be like, all right, I'm out. Y'all actually don't deserve this aspect of my life.
Yeah.
But it's a fine balance to walk because it's a part of our lives, right? It's a part of showing who you are as a BMX rider, as a journalist. Like there's an element that you have to participate and that I truthfully enjoy participating at times. It's a way to build community. It's a way to show, you know, women doing incredible things that are trailblazing. So there's a way that it can be used for good. Yeah. But it's also, you really have to figure out what is what are the boundaries there too that you want to share. So then I think about, okay, so you've got this silver medal from Tokyo that you're like borderline embarrassed about, which like I understand, I'm a perfectionist, so I empathize. And also I'm telling you, a silver medal at the very first BMX Freestyle is like fucking badass. So like you should own that and be very proud of it. And also I respect why it was hard. So you're a silver medalist. You're dealing with all this personal stuff. You're dealing with the death threats. You're trying to like be who you are in the world, and that's getting threatened. And congratulations, you just qualified for your second Olympics. Yeah. How the heck did you manage all of that coming into Paris?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kept my family pretty close during that time. I was going through a breakup as well. And so, yeah, I mean, everything was a little unnatural. And after I qualified for my spot in, I think, Budapest, Hungary. And then I flew to X Games and I competed at the first X Games, which was sick because it was like such a switch up. And
won gold, by the way. In Ventura. No big deal. She won the very first ever X Games gold medalist for women's division in BMX freestyle. Yeah. Sick.
Thank you.
Sick.
But yeah, I mean, I think X Games was a very helpful thing. It was pretty, like, it was distracting in a way where like I could still have fun with riding. Yeah. Because there wasn't pressure at X Games. Like, yeah, it would have not been great to not make podium, but you know, when I was there, I legit was just listening to, had my headphones in, I'm riding with the girls, you know, doing whatever I wanted to do. My mom was there, so that was really cool. And then when it came to like going home to train, I didn't honestly ride too much after X Games before the Olympics. I think I rode for maybe 8 or 9 times, but in that month. And yeah, I was just more focused on going healthy, no injuries, because I went to Tokyo with a broken foot. And yeah, I just kind of, I hung out with my family a lot. Yeah. I hung out with my nephew. I think that's really what kept me going. I'd take him to the mall and while my sister was at work, and you know, I'd grab the other two from whatever summer activities they had going on. I was like, you're not going today, like you're going. And we'd just go and mess around. And yeah, I just really relied on them, but I also didn't let them know what was going on. Not because they would have been scared. My sisters are ruthless. Yeah. They are so mean when it comes time to being mean. So I just kind of let it slide. Yeah. Until, you know, I dealt with it after the Olympics. After the Olympics, people were talking, obviously, crap because I got 8th. But I was hitting some people back with some funny replies. And yeah, like, I'm tired. The worst has happened. You've got nothing left for me. Yeah, it was nothing ever inappropriate. Obviously, yeah. I'm better. Say I'm better than that, but I'm really not. I just know that I can't post that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, people were like commenting, and yeah, I started shutting it down, and then my sister started joining in. So like we were all in Paris, and we went out. I left the village and I stayed with my family in their Airbnb, and we, you know, I had like 1 beer. My sisters are like, oh, she's drunk. I'm like, shut up, I'm not drunk. And now we're just all in a circle, just typing, all 4 of us. So yeah, it was fun. My parents, they weren't very proud. Sure. At that moment in time, but they thought they were all funny. My dad liked every single comment that I did, so I'll take that as a win. It's a little bit of approval. It's just a slight stamp of approval that you needed. He couldn't come out and say that it was funny, but he definitely liked all of the comments, so it was a good time. But yeah, that's. I feel like that's such like the ideal definition of family, right? Like we mess with each other, but you do not mess with one of us. Yeah. Like I can mess with my sister and my brother in ways that not a single person in the outside world can do, or like older sister comes out and like it's game over. So I love that you had that moment with your family, but I also hate the circumstances that led to it, you know, because we talked about the 8th place, and the whole reason that happened was you collided with somebody in a very freak
practice accident and then fell on some tricks that are so in your back pocket that it probably caught you off guard when you fell on them. You were like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I've done this for 15 years or like whatever it is. How did you pick yourself back up after Paris?
After Paris, I went back to Michigan with my family. I took my dogs up there. I didn't really have a return date. I didn't know when I wanted to ride again. And this happens every time, every year every time after the Olympics. It's just a lot of pressure, and then you ride, and you're like, shoot, I don't know if I want to do that again anytime soon. So yeah, I went up to Michigan. I hung out with my parents, and I just realized, like, I mean, I was drinking a bit, way too much, and just realized that like nothing that I would do in that moment was going to change what happened. And you know, my goal has always been to go to 5 Olympics, and drinking and doing dumb things and isn't going to get me there. So I stopped drinking, and I didn't touch a drop of alcohol for probably the rest of that year. You know, I've dabbled. I don't dabble too often, but I have since then, and I just had to come to terms with throwing myself back in there. And then obviously after the Olympics, you know, I went home in September, and I rode a couple times, not too much. I did more shows than anything, and that was pretty fun for me. But October, November, one of those months, you know, USA switched up coaching staff and all that. And then skate parks were closing in North Carolina. I was running out of options, and thankfully USA sent me out here to the core park in Salt Lake, and I got to ride here for 4 days before World Championships. And then I won Worlds off 4 days of practice, and I was like, all right, we're right back in.
I love it again.
Good. Yeah, I was like, we're good. I don't usually judge it off like win or lose, but we were in Abu Dhabi, and we rented a yacht for Maka's birthday, so it might have been the yacht. It might have been the yacht experience and eating fruit on a boat in the middle of an ocean that drew me. I was like, shoot, I live a pretty phenomenal life.
Yeah.
You know, I text all my friends. Some of my friends are in the military. Some of my friends are like nurses or whatever, and just like on a yacht randomly. And
this is
on a Tuesday.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say this is the trend. That's like your random friend on a Tuesday who has that job that like is sort of a job but not really a job. I feel like that all the time, where I'm like, where are you on a random Tuesday? Well, maybe Australia, maybe Salt Lake City. You know, it's just like, it's so fun, but it doesn't negate like the challenges of the job and of living the type of lifestyle, because you give up routine, you give up familiarity, you give up a lot of that quality time that comes from like being around on weekends and all that stuff. But I love that you were able to fall in love with the sport and like the lifestyle that the sport provided you with again. It's been a long road for you. And I think from the outside looking in, you go, okay, she's a 2-time Olympian. She's won 6 world titles. Like, she has been proudly and openly gay for as long, like I said, like you said, as long as you can remember, you know, it's been a long time. Like, she's very confident in who she is and what she's bringing to the table. But there was a lot of turmoil internally that was like going on with that. How, you know, you mentioned that you've been going to therapy. What is the biggest lesson you feel like you've learned about yourself and like managing this incredible, hard, beautiful life that you're creating?
Yeah, it's something, I mean, I'm still working on it. I mean, I go to therapy every week, and I have for a while. The main thing I've learned about myself, I don't handle anything. I don't handle nothing. I'll legit just, something will happen. I'm like, cool, it's back in my head until it's not. And so I've been learning how to manage that, because obviously that's not great. But yeah, I've learned to take things a little bit slower and to understand lessons. And that's really what helped me through Paris, is just like, yeah, I mean, not all those experiences were fun, but I took them one step at a time. And, you know, I could have told my coaches, I could have told my parents what was going on, but I think I needed to prove to myself that I could do it myself. There's always people in my corner if I needed them. And, yeah, therapy taught me how to manage and how to navigate certain situations, and it also taught me that I could rely on people. So it's been super helpful. I still go. I got an appointment next Tuesday.
There we go. We love the consistency among all
always.
the travel and the chaos.
Yeah,
we always have time, and I think that is It's so cool. And it's such a beautiful thing to come to, which is one, I am capable of handling this on my own. And also there are times when I don't have to.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And as a 2-time Olympian already, a 6-time world champion already, an X Games gold medalist already, I feel like that's such an important lesson. In addition to the boundaries and in addition to the, the social media of like what you let in and what you push away. And I just think, it's very impressive. And it's impressive in a way that's like attainable for the rest of us who are not, like I am not going to make it to 5 Olympics, but I like the lessons that you shared with us about what it takes to be among the first and the pressures and managing it all. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to transition to our next segment, which is called Something to Sip On. So this is a segment brought to you by the Sports Bra. It's the very first women's sports bar in the entire world, founded in Portland, Oregon. And so we want to know, what are you sipping on? It can be a cocktail, a mocktail, whatever you want. Post BMX Freestyle. We've just landed another winning gold medal run here at the X Games. What are we sipping on?
If I win gold, I tell you what, I'm drinking straight bourbon. No
Straight
ice,
bourbon.
not on the rocks. I got a big bourbon cabinet at home. I don't open it very often, but that is my
straight bourbon.
Yeah.
Sipping on it.
I don't mix it. There's no reason to mix it.
Oof.
Bourbon is a beautifully crafted drink. So,
I love that.
Yeah, that is my anytime I can. I love it.
Yeah,
But
I'm a whiskey girl also. So it's a little bit, there's like something very refreshing, but like grounding about the taste of a whiskey.
See, I can't do clear alcohol.
No,
I did it too much. And vodka makes me gag, and tequila does what the song says.
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
Every time. Can't do that. Can't do that. Okay, next segment is called Powered Up. So these are questions that we want to know. How do you get powered up to be one of the best BMX freestyle athletes in the world? So the first one is, what mindset powers you up? What does your mindset have to be?
This is going to sound crazy.
I love it.
Sad. When I get like a little bit sad with myself or with the way things are going, I end up doing 10 times better because I'm way more aware.
Interesting.
So like I listen to sad music when I ride.
Okay.
So then I don't have to feel sad, but I can feel other people's sadness for them. So yeah, that's I don't know why it's been like that for like 5-6 years. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So we like to just feel a little bit sad because we need to like find the joy again. And it's like you're going to chase that a little harder maybe.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm happy, I just forget. Like if I'm happy or I'm excited, I'm like, okay, I forgot. And then the run's over. But like when I'm sad, I'm like, okay. And then by the end of the run, I'm stoked. So
oh my gosh, I love that so much. It's like we get happier. We have to start down here to keep the focus, but then we can like move up a little bit with each trick that gets completed until you're just elated.
Yeah.
I love that. What is the one piece of gear or equipment that you replace the most? It can be something you wear or on your bike itself.
Shoes, probably.
That was gonna be my guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I go through a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
I like the sticky feeling of
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I'm with you on that. Okay, and if somebody was going to say, hey, Hannah, I want to be one of the best BMX freestyle athletes in the world, what is the mentality that I have to have in order to be the best? What would you say to them?
I mean, my mentality the entire time, my entire career is, I've never thought that I was the best. I always knew that there's people out there, people working to be better than me, and they probably were. And so I always had that mentality that I'm not the best, and I was always chasing to be the best, and did me pretty well.
I think so. So far.
Yeah.
2 Olympics down out of 5.
Yeah, I need to get the other one tattooed. If you're
I
a
love
tattoo
it.
artist in Salt Lake that wants to put the Paris one in there.
So is that why we're doing 5? Because there's 5 Olympic rings?
Yeah, I started. Wish I didn't start, but I'm kidding. I mean, obviously LA.
Yeah.
Home. Brisbane, I'll be 30, almost 31, and then the next one I'll be 35, almost 30, or no, 34, almost 35, and then I want to be done.
Okay.
Not completely with the sport, I don't think, but like, I want a family. I want to be able to like be old.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm telling you right now, mid-30s is not old, she says as a mid-30-year-old.
Well, just imagine how my back, I've broken it 3 times. This thing's gonna hurt. I'm gonna feel old.
Yeah.
I might not be old, but
you're
I'm
gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the injuries are gonna start piling up, you think?
Yeah, I think by mid-30, that's about as much as I can squeak away with without feeling them. But yeah, three.
Without turning into like a bionic woman because we've had so many things replaced. I gotcha. Okay, and then the last question I have for you is obviously here on the Powerful Podcast, we are so thrilled to be highlighting incredible Olympic action extreme sports athletes like yourself. What does powerful mean to you?
Powerful is a mindset. You can feel powerful, but to really be powerful, you have to put everything else behind you. And the most powerful women ever are the most influential. And I think that's an amazing thing. So I'm honored to be here.
Oh, I'm honored to have you here, Hannah. Thank you so much for being on this episode of the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us. This is a reminder to check us out every Tuesday, everywhere you get your podcasts. And if you really enjoy this and don't want to miss an episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button.